Hmm? On both. Any other? Yeah. Right. Right. Thank you. Okay. Right. So very good morning, all of you. I think once on line two, one by one, they can join. Okay. Sure. So now that the dates, it looks as all your dates clear. Any other dates pending? TS AE date is altered. Okay. Group 1, Group 2, Group 4, as usual, of course, UPSC, May 28th. Okay. Whatever with other examination, UPSC will be held regularly. Okay. Anyhow, target for that and gear up your preparations as the current affairs is very crucial and most of the things looks getting repeated. So this week we find it again the Chinese tricks. Okay. So here Chinese something like look like they are playing the mind game. Okay, a psychological war if you use it in international phenomena. Okay, rather than a direct warfare, a physical warfare or something else, or even not in any other. So they wish to win or create some sort of disturbance to others. So there is a concept in management related. To win in an argument, either you need to convince or confuse. Got it? To win an argument in any point of view, either you have to convince the other person or confuse them. So in the process of confusion, anything may happen, isn't it? So other person say, "Arey, chhod do," in the course of it. So it looks like this sort of the war game the China is playing in a way a psychological war. And it's pretty well that in 1962, Indo-China War, it occupied few parts of India, and especially here we have the Saksachin, then some parts of Arunachal Pradesh. Now they started what we call renaming it in certain places, and from long time, China called Arunachal Pradesh as the most number of competitive examination you will find this question. Entire Arunachal Pradesh they considered it's theirs. What's the name Chinese name for Arunachal Pradesh? Hmm? It's the yeah. I think I got the answer from online. That's what they mentioned. Very good. So South Tibet. Okay, the Tibet is about it, right? And as next is the things. Here we have to very this. This is a Tibet. Tibet was occupied by China. So when it come to the 1914, the British India time, Tibet, China, and British India they entered agreement. So we have drawn the border line. What is that border line between India and China called? McMahon line. So that was drawn way back 1914. McMahon line. Till 1959, even 1949, if you come it up, Chinese Revolution, Mao took over. India is with China. So from even 1954, any significance Indo-China? 1954. Panchashil, five principles of peaceful coexistence. Okay, and now that Panchashil is the foreign policy visual map, vision map, not only for India, more than 50 countries in the world, isn't it? Five principles of peaceful coexistence. What are they? Any idea? Number of components, both in prelims and mains. This is very important. So when you say the five principles, the most important thing is respecting each other's territorial unity and integrity. When you say mutual respect for, always they use the word mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity. Mutual non-interference in internal affairs. Okay? Mutual non-aggression. Even one should not attack the another. Then you have what to do. You have to work. Okay? Win-win scenario. That's what you call equity. Okay? Should be there in cooperation. Then finally, peaceful coexistence. So when you say the five principles of peaceful coexistence, so wonderful it is. But 59 changed the entire scenario. What's happened in 1959? China occupied Tibet. Once China occupied Tibet, now that become direct border for India. Though otherwise we have just limited part, center, and Tibet next is Arunachal Pradesh. So in the beginning we have very good relations, and you have to keep in mind one very important thing. This is when you call this Arunachal Pradesh. Why the major issue between India and Arunachal Pradesh? When we talking about this nine, okay, here this is a very crucial Tawang. Okay, the part above you will find this, right, Tibet. So when 1959, when China occupied Tibet, then leader of Tibet, Dalai Lama, fled to India. He came to India secretly via this Tawang. Okay, and one fact also you have to keep in mind is, in reality, say, look at this one, how this cornered, right? The area, the complete hilly area. Once upon a time, it is a part of Tibet. Tawang is Tibet. But in 1914, when we entered agreement with Tibet, British India, right? Britishers make strategically this very important high hill area. Always, if you stay at the high, advantageous. So they convinced Tibet to hand over that Tawang to India. So because of that agreement, Tawang became part of India. Otherwise, it's a part of Tibet. Okay. And from that route, Dalai Lama came to India. And China is furious. First asked this handover Dalai Lama. But we granted Dalai Lama what? A political shelter. What we call that political shelter? Any technical name? Asylum. We granted Dalai Lama the asylum. Asylum, even once in group one, they asked the meaning of this asylum. Granting political shelter to foreigners. Okay. Rarely we do so. So he is under India's protection now. Now Chinese under. Still we personally handed over. Where Dalai Lama stays in India now? Still he is in India. Yeah, Himachal, what is that? Dharmashala. So number of competitive examination, the stock GK part, you have that question as well. So this Tawang become crucial point. So when 1959 China occupied, Dalai Lama came to India. India granted asylum and refused to hand over Dalai Lama. So China is naturally angry, furious. Later, China come to know that America is dropping some bombs, ammunitions, not sorry, bombs, military support to tribals of Tibet, and so that they are fighting against China. And they got training in the soil of India. So America is dumping or dropping what? The arms and ammunition, as well as giving training to tribals where in the soil of the borders of India. So that is a last minute reason the China attacked India 1962. So bye bye of 50s become bye bye. That's what we said it up. And Tawang become very crucial. So in this 62 war, when it occupied this Aksachin and some part of this one, because of Russian rightly intervention at least. Okay, in the beginning, Russia says China is brother because both are communistic countries. India is a friend, so from them it is so is a clarity what to do. But still, Russia's intervention made it the war stopped within 45 days. So by the time it occupied, so we call this now this red line as what? LAC, line of actual control, is a de facto border between India and China. McMahon is the main thing. Okay, LAC is the de facto border. Now that whatever be under the control of China, it started claiming as if it's forever. So changing the names of it. Not only under its control, even expecting again in future those parts should be ours. Now Arunachal Pradesh is entire Arunachal Pradesh is ours. So they started renaming the border villages and everything. Okay. So that's what in the beginning I said it's something like a psychological warfare. So Shakespeare once rightly said, what's in name? Okay. Whatever name you call the rose, it smells the same, isn't it? So here, just because the Chinese change the names, it will alter the territorial claims, or otherwise we call the sovereignty of India over it, isn't it? Except we voluntarily relinquish the claims. Otherwise, it will be of it. So India said, as is a de facto only. If not today, tomorrow, let's get back. So it's something like a kabja under the China. So we should get back. If not today, the tomorrow. And it's up to China whether name or rename. It's their wish. So let's ignore. But at the same time, completely we cannot maintain silence. So we need to go on protest that. Isn't it? So something talking on this. So that China sees that the world will not forget about these things, the Chinese claims from their point of view. Okay. And India also now convince the world that yes, we have our own claims. No question of changing any claims on our border, though in reality it is under its control. So it's not the first time, it's the third time. Okay, China is from 2017 onwards initially started renaming, though it's called in the South Tibet from long time, overall Arunachal Pradesh. Remaining thing, it started different villages on this part. So recently in this 11 places they altered the names is concerned. So 2017, when they made, it's the third time in these 6 years. Names for geographical features. Anyhow, that's for an information only. Okay. Any doubt? The number of times we are discussing on this, and these are the areas always come on the news. So carefully observe on this one. And Tawang is very crucial. Whoever visited Tawang, either Dalai Lama visited or any even Indian minister visited, any foreign minister came to, I mean, American or something else, they came to India, visited. China always protest. Okay, it says that though we are part of the deliberations in 1914, we are not signed. So China don't want to recognize McMahon line. As it don't wanted to recognize McMahon line, it still claims, especially this Tawang. Okay, so that's a very crucial juncture. Okay. Then next comes is another the crucial part, and IR the very important. Are we going to see a new global currency? It's coming it up. It is so is still in question mark, and they kept this BRICS. So now the BRICS is looks like playing a greater role. What is BRICS? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Very good. Okay. So yes for South Africa. So last week also we discussed about the BRICS. When especially the China wanted to play a crucial role globally, and even it has an aspiration to replace Russia as a superpower. Even now, the aspirations of China is that it should be the only superpower. Even wanted to undo the America. So that sort of steps it is taking all the time. When most of the developing countries worried about the conditions of IMF and IBRD while granting loans, because innumerable conditions follows, especially the developing countries used to give subsidies. Okay, World Bank says no, don't give that, doesn't it? Especially agricultural subsidies, food related everything, and helping poor, all those things. Because there is a capitalistic structure. In a capitalism, the Machanyaya will prevail. What is Machanyaya? Strong fish swallows the small fish. Whoever physically fit, that is what you call Herbert Spencer's concept, survival of the fittest. Whoever survival, that's it. Why should you give render the support to anybody else? Whoever fit, they can. But these countries are not. We are now not only just a welfare state, they are service states. So render the helping hand to the oppressed, suppressed, and depressed sections. So that we wanted to take them up the socio-economic justice. We want to render. So in this process, the government has to raise the occasion. But capitalistic countries is not the case, already developed. And being a World Bank and IMF, Bretton Woods institutions we call, they are dominating a lot. And alternative to that, last week we discussed. What is those? What is an alternative to China put forward to World Bank? Huh? AIIB. Alternative to World Bank is AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. And alternative to IMF, NDB, New Development Bank, or that's what we call as the BRICS Bank. Okay, it's an initiative of the BRICS. No doubt China played a very crucial role in both the issues. And IMF currency, what's the name of IMF currency? paper gold, affectionately we call paper gold, okay, is called SDRs, special drawing rights, and the currencies can be based on the basket of currencies. Out of the basket of currencies of US dollar, British pound, German yen, Chinese yuan, Russian, what is the Russian? Ruble. Dollar is playing a very crucial role. Now, every international transaction is happening in terms of dollar. Now, the big question mark is why should we have exports, imports, or international finance transactions on base of dollar only? Okay, by all countries transaction, even say India, Nepal, India, Bangladesh. What is the need for dollar here? Okay, so India, Russia, India, China. What's the need for dollar? So let us, once these institutions came, there's a term called de-dollarization. Let us undo minimize the dollar transactions. So initially, even China, Russia entered this ruble and deals. Now recently, India, Russia, rupee ruble transactions. Japan also having talked with Russia, ruble and dealing. That means dollar is receding to the background. And last current affairs visit is nearly 18 countries plus adopted now Indian rupee as its mode of transactions. So the every possibility is further increases. If that be the case, what is the need for dollar transactions? Now you are reduce your dependency on the dollar. Similarly, the other day the Reserve Bank of India come up with a new idea, UPI. So why don't you make this UPI transactions as if the not only because UPI what happens is when you have the bank balance, right? You should have the bank balance, then only you can transfer instantly. Why can't you make it as a credit card also based upon your transaction history with the credibility? If that become the reality, okay, once this UPI get expanded, you know what is going to happen? These Visa cards, all the credit cards, right? Most of debit cards and credit cards are foreigners, not ours. Okay, what is ours now? Indian, now SBI and other banks issued. Rupee. Rupee cards, except Rupee card, all others are things. So every transaction, some amount is going to them. That means going out from India. So we are suffering with the foreign exchange related. So let us undo this dollar. First of all, reduce this dependence because you cannot at one stroke do all the things. So before you undo it or reducing others' influence, you have to strengthen yours. Okay. Now that Indian part, this sort of digital transactions are happening more. We feel that very easy it is, and countries are accepting our rupee and its currency transactions. And some countries already adopted our UPI mode. Then already with a major with China and Russia, we are having our currency transactions only. With all our neighbors right now, we have our concern, the swapping, okay, currency. With Iran as well. And last time we discussed the Vostok accounts, they started doing it. So what's the need for dollar? So hitherto IMF, which we call white paper gold, because I owe to somebody, right? Some country play a crucial role in giving these transactions, exchanging debit to credit, credit to debit. Instead of now IMF, let's our BRICS banks take care. Okay, so that will deal about the foreign exchange transactions. What is the need to go to IMF? What is the need to ask them to reform in IMF? Okay, now shortly, the month of August, the BRICS meet is going to take place. Where now this year? South Africa, the BRICS meet is going to take place in the month of August. So there's every plans that why don't we have our own currency? Now they are going to name it. So let's see that how it is going to be takes place. No doubt here all the countries will get benefited. No doubt Russia benefits, China also benefits, and perhaps China is a major beneficiary. But still, India has its own way, and we have to undo it. So let's hope the best on this issue. Then one more thing regarding China. As in the beginning I said, China wanted to play a global role as the role of the superpower. So wanted to undo its few things. And 2 weeks back we discussed how China play a mediation role in which countries? Iran and Saudi, right? So first time it played this. Now recently it came up the proposal vis-a-vis Russia Ukraine is concerned. Okay, so it started addressing the global problem, that is resolving the problem through peaceful negotiation. Hitherto whatever India stands for that, and China started giving a name to that, and that's what we call the Global Security Initiative, GSI. Okay, the China initiated this process, the Global Security Initiative, and as it's very the intention, the aim is to adopt the changing geopolitical dynamics and addressing the security challenges with a win-win mindset, though it says the aim concern. So what it will look into is, it will look into the root causes of these conflicts and try to address that root conflict. Okay, because always if you address the basic, naturally it will be developed. So the diplomacy should play a crucial role. Not of, that is what said, war is the last resort. Most of even our Indian ethos says, if any resolution in conflict, what is the Indian ethos in resolving conflict? Samadhana Beda Dandopaya. Samadhana Beda Dandopaya. That is a we have Indian ethos from long time. Sama is the first. You have to discuss peacefully through negotiations. In the discussions, you have to give up something, and others has to give something. So both has to compromise on each other's rigid stands. Dhana, quid pro quo. Okay, not a one-sided. That's what he said, win-win mindset. Beda, if these two things not fulfilled, then you may file a case in the court of law or some mediation help, third party help, you can take it. Okay. And finally, if everything fail, a dandupai. Okay, war is the last resort. And same thing here, the China too now adhering to this. And this part already mentioned in our Indian Constitution, where the last article of Directive Principles of State Policy. What is that article number? Last article of Directive Principles of State Policy. 51. Okay. Is a 51. Article 51 clearly states this. Okay. A foreign policy guidelines are there. So now the similar stands that China is undertaking and come up with the new concept. Okay. So the governance is very crucial. So they said the Global Security Initiative. And of course, it also aims to enhance the existing global security governance architecture in order to promote durable peace, of course, especially, and not only just what you call the conflicting areas. Sometimes you have to adopt the preventive measures also. Prevention is better than cure. So China is coming like this. But of course, we have to say that in the beginning I said China is very good at playing the psychological warfare. Okay? You cannot take it for granted. We don't know when they will change how. Okay? The most selfish people in the world. Of course, man is itself is selfish by nature, but at least we'll compromise here and there. And Chinese are not. Everything interpret from their point of view. They are very good interpreter from their point of view. So when 1950s talked about bye bye, so by the time of 62, it became bye bye. And even today, all irritations. Okay, they are not ready to give a clarity on line of actual control also. Forget about McMahon line. Isn't India is still asking, tell me where actually the LAC stands for. Okay, so incremental progression they will adopt in a way slowly, one step by another. They will try to occupy the nations, other nations' territory. So there's a inexcusable gap, what you call, between what they're saying and what they're doing. There's a deeds and words. A lot of gap is there. So had to be cautious, no doubt. But still, as exam point of view, this global security initiative is of China. Okay, so the recent Chinese president spelled out this one, and to main thing is acting. China is ready to act as a mediation role in resolving conflict through peaceful means. Okay, any doubt? Then of course here one of the Chinese concern also America's Asian pivot policy, America's Asia Pacific policy, and it looks like China perceived that whatever be the steps taken by America, it is containing China. Okay, so one of the things is the Quad, Asia Pacific related quadrilateral security dialogue, wherein along apart from this America, Britain is also there. Quad? No. So what is in America? Japan, India, and Australia. These four in the Quad. But one reason or another, India is not that much interested to make Quad as security oriented organization. Though America's wish is that. No doubt security, but we wanted to give the broader meaning to security. Not only this so-called the military part, we want to got food security, health security, like this. We wanted to give more broader names. One of the things, of course, China conceived this Quad as Asian NATO. But America's will and wishes security is a crucial, especially Asia Pacific. So along with UK, it initiated APPSC. So Australia, US, and UK. Australia, US part of Quad. UK is not. And last session we discussed in detail about APPSC. With that APPSC, Britain agreed to transfer a technology, the designs regarding what and nuclear submarines and all the things. Now America also agreed to export Tomahawk cruise missile. So an agreement between Australia and US has taken place. approximately of $900 million worth of this. So these missiles will be fired from this, okay, Virginia class submarines, which Australia got from Britain. Okay. So now initial deal is only Britain and Australia, though America. Now America also equipping. So both America and Britain equipping Australia with weapons, military. And the intention is they want to play a crucial role in Indo-Pacific area. Anything happen, ready to face it. And who has the major threat to the peace is China only. So to contain China, they undertaken this one. As India is taking a back step and making Quad as security related. So, right. Then of course, then when you talked about the NATO, again NATO get expands hither to 30 countries. Now the Finland joined with NATO. The last week we discussed this point also. Okay. NATO was formed when 1949. What actually this NATO stands for? North American or North Atlantic? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So how many countries are the founding countries? Only 12 countries are the founding members. Yeah, Panna, Dilip. Okay, Asman, Veg. Okay, good. Founding members. Now increasing leaps and bounds. 31 now. Already Ukraine wished to join. When Ukraine wished to join, Russia having apprehensions. As Ukraine is a border with Russia, sharing border with Russia. If that be the case, there is every possibility that NATO troops will be at the border of Russia, that is at the footsteps. If any war is more advantageous. So considering it as an existential threat, Russia put an aggression against Ukraine. That's the other two. Now the Finland. Is it Finland far away from Russia or the border, sharing border with Russia? Is also a border, a northwest border. So that's very crucial part is concerned. So, so this is the when you talked about the Finland, this entire thing is oh, of the Russia, right? This is all we call this as the Russia part. See this, how long it's sharing the border. Okay, so 1340 kilometers of border, 1340 kilometers of border it is sharing. Okay, and even Ukraine is not sharing that much of it. So now that it became part of it, no doubt it is a big blow to Russia. Now what it will do it? Already it became part of it. Now it cannot attack Finland. Because attack on any NATO country treated as an attack on every country. Together, collectively, they will face. Ukraine only expressed will and wish. NATO ready to accept, but formally they not become the member. The reason why NATO is not able to jump into war against Russia outrightly, though it is rendering support in one form or another. And recently, that's last week you said the Baltic republics, they made and started give rendering helping hand to the Ukraine. Okay, sending its aircraft and others. And now a further step was taken and it became the member of it. So with that, when you say the Baltic Sea, the most important part of it, the access to Russia, it gets cut here. So from this, right, St. Petersburg, the Gulf of Finland, right, the almost that is. If in case of war, everything, the Russian access to Baltic Sea will be cut. And once in civil services, I don't know the groups it is concerned. So which of the countries, which of the following countries are not the borders of Baltic Sea? Okay. Is it part of geography? Maybe that. Can you tell me? What are the countries that borders? First of all, you should know. Then only, okay, you are not. That is one thing. And secondly, you should know that that country which are the choice of elimination, if at all considered, you know it. Okay. So, uh, maybe it's useful if you remember this mnemonics, GPRS for Dell. So we have the Germany, Poland, Russia, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. So now that GPRS is a regular word that we use it. Dell, everything before you, the laptops are there and others. So something linking with, okay, you may do it 2-3 times, having a glance. So always mnemonics plays a very crucial role. The other day we were having some class on this Indian polity. What is that? Constituent Assembly was established on the recommendation of Indian Constituent Assembly was established on the recommendation of whom? Cabinet Mission, right? Who are the members of Cabinet Mission? If you remembered LAC, that's enough. LAC is just now we said line of actual control, a de facto border. This they are also LAC. Lawrence Alexander Cripps. Like this, once you made it, if I ask you, you may not say, but the moment you look at the choice, that will come. So try to keep this mnemonics, either the initial wording or something, two words, something together. 2-3 times have a glance. Or whenever you look at, try to recollect even that mnemonic, but that's also important. Okay. Even remembering all the schedules. They said tiers of old PM. That is for all schedules 1 to 12. You can easily remember that order wise. So no question of doing it. So tiers of old PM. Okay, that can be done. So like this, you put the mnemonics, and that is the things. And once the question on the Belarus as well. Okay, now that the Russia, Belarus, they're going hand in hand. So what are the other countries, the borders with this? All this, also the borders of it. So if you have this plural as the things, then you too can easily remember the issues. Okay. So when you use the word, this RA stands one, isn't it? Whenever you made the things is concerned. Now you can go back to the map and see it also. Recollect the things is maybe order will be different here. So that's how you have to be, and the mapping. So number of times is looking at the maps, and I'm sure that 10 to 20 questions you can easily get either civils or the groups if you're thorough with the maps itself, not only for geography, but everything is concerned. So be okay, should have the grip over this map. Okay, so here is the Germany, right? So it's a far off it, the thing is concerned. Then another thing regarding Ukraine, and the war is going on. Ukraine is suffering a lot. So IMF International Monetary Fund approves $15.6 billion of package. So this is a thing you have to remember. We call this extended fund facility. Okay, this we called it as extended facility, and it is the first major financing program approved by this IMF for a country involved large scale war. So far it is not. If the country is involved war, IMF will not give funding at all, because there is no question of guarantee, right, getting back. But as it's the first time, the IMF ready to take the risk. Okay, like our banks, UCO, SBI, and all the things. Okay, ready to take the risks and giving money to whom? Adani. They are saying what is wrong in it. Okay, so just because Sheshav down doesn't mean that Adani out. So till the Modi, the Prime Minister, Adani is there. Okay, so no issue. So that's how, okay, they will support in one form or another. And similar case here, the IMF, as all the Western countries stand with Ukraine, and naturally, IMF is the voice of these countries more. Okay, because they are the shareholders. Major shares are holding them only. So that part you have to keep in mind. Extended fund facility. Recently regarding Sri Lanka, also it is given, and even this governance aspect also taken up by IMF. Then last week we discussed about the UN. In the process, we said the agreement on high seas. Okay, what is high seas? What do you mean by high seas? They are international waters. Hope you remembered everything. Territorial waters, exclusive economic zone, then high seas. What is the ratio of high seas? How much percentage of the ocean water is high seas? Ocean or earth, almost nearly 50% is high seas. Okay. So, as high seas international waters and free movement of goods and services are there, it is under the UN. And finally, that agreement reached. Territorial waters agreement reached long back. When 12 nautical miles, 1955, Law of the Sea Convention. And exclusive economic zone, when that was agreed? 1982, 200 nautical miles. Exclusive economic zone, you have control only over resources. Only concerned country may make use of it. Where territorial waters, you have the full control. So sovereignty extends. Okay. And high seas are international waters. So 1982, that UNCLOS, United Nations Conference on the Law of the Sea, we called 1982. And now, finally, on the high seas also. So now it has taken a further step, and they started taking deep sea mining part is concerned. And for that purpose, the International Seabed Authority was authorized to take care of this. Okay. So this wording, because last time we have not discussed this International Seabed Authority. So I feel that, okay, make it the thing is concerned now. International Seabed Authority will start accepting applications in July for deep sea mining. So in the deep sea, they will extract what are the things? Cobalt, copper, nickel, and manganese right now. So this International Seabed Authority has the authority to issue permits to companies that wish to conduct mining operations in these international waters. Because hitherto we don't have the proper coding, so nobody utilizes. Though what are resources, generally those resources allocated to whom? By UN? To the landlocked countries. What do you mean by landlocked country? no access to sea, like Nepal, Afghanistan. Okay, but activity can be done by anybody, any commercial activity, and for that they will, for example, if Indian company done it, will get our price. Okay, our service charges and everything. Okay, there's an agreement for it. All sides land, no sea. Yeah, no access to sea. Good answers. Then, that is, of course, that is a different. Yeah, that is landlocked relating to the nation itself. Like Telangana now. If you say this is interlaw. Then one more relating to the UN and India, elected to UN's highest statistical body. Okay, recently. So United Nations have six organs. Anybody can tell me what are the six organs of UN? Security Council one, General Assembly, a legislative wing, Security Council, executive wing, ICJ, judicial wing, like the governments. Three, another three, ECOSOC, Economic and Social Council. What is this wing is called? A developmental wing. Then Secretariat and Admin wing. And finally, Trusteeship Council, a caretaker. Okay. So, out of this one, Economic Social Council is a very crucial. Development is the part is concerned. Okay. Of course, Security Council, everything has its own role in a way. And all international agencies, UN, okay, agencies like UNESCO, UNICEF, WHO, all under the umbrella of Economic and Social Council. And one, because those things you know pretty well, is the statistical organization. And recently, when the elections happened within that, so because of India's stronghold on this part, we get elected. Even that we faced the China and UAE as the competitors and able to win more votes in the ECOSOC rather than the others. How many countries in ECOSOC? 54 countries in Economic and Social Council. So once the next happened, and finally India get into this issue. Okay. So always recollect those few things, organizations, and every part. So this UN Statistical Commission. This is the commission right now on narcotic drugs program coordinating board of the joint UN programs of HIV, that is UN AIDS. Okay, that is related part. So it's called the Statistical Commission. So out of the 54 countries, 53 countries voted and 46 we got it in the secret ballot. So you have to remember this, how many countries also in this ECOSOC. Total is 54. So only one country has not participated. Then, is it India a member of Security Council? Is a member of ECOSOC? Is a member of General Assembly? Sure or not? UN, six organs. Just now I said India is a member of ECOSOC. Okay. So when 1949, okay, China is occupied by the Mao, okay, Chinese Revolution, everything is concerned. At that time, because finally, there's no argument. Okay, mainland is said ours, China is ours. So let us undo it. So it looks like it is offered to India. But then Prime Minister the Nehru politely refused. If at all we should get on our strength, not we don't want to take somebody's. So our Indo ethos always talked about it, right? So on these grounds, plus Nehru's personally is bent toward the socialistic. So that's the reason why we have very good relation with Russia, and that's the reason why we have the good relation with China also in the beginning. That bent of socialism is there. So they refused. So that is why India not become. But India is a non-permanent member of Security Council number of times. How many times so far? 8 times it became. Now my question is it India is a member of Security Council now? Now it is not, right? Now though somebody said yes, no. Okay, the answer is no is right. Till the 22 December, India was the member. Okay, 21 and 22. So 21 January to 22 December, 2 years is the tenure of Security Council non-permanent members. Now it's not. Okay. General Assembly, which is a legislative organ of UN, is it India a member? Huh? You don't know. Simple reason is all the countries of UN are members of General Assembly. Now logically tell me, is it India is a member or not? All the countries of United Nations, all the members of UN are the members of General Assembly. That's a fact. Is it India a member or not? Member. So naturally, India is also a member of General Assembly. So logic also you can apply there. Then another organ, ICJ. Is it any Indian judge in ICJ? What's the name? Bandari. Not Bandari Dattatreya. Okay. At least anyhow, if you made this one, okay, the choice I'm sure that they will not give Bandari Dattatreya. So he's the thing is. So still it is. Of course, and regarding secretariat, though chief of UN is not belong to India, who is the present United Nations chief? Secretary General we call. Secretary General of UN. Huh? Second time get re-elected, yeah. Huh. Yeah, Bandari name we got it. Yeah, right. Antonio Guterres. Antonio Guterres. Other James. Anyhow, but regarding under secretaries, okay, secretary general, under secretary general are there, Indians are there. So we have the presence in admin wing also. So almost all, except right now in the Security Council, in all other organs we have. Is it in the trusteeship council also? Trusteeship council is a caretaker. Is it also India? It is now a functionless organ of UN. A number of, even in UPSC, the question which of the following is a functionless organ? Yeah, yeah. That's the most important part. These belong to Philippines. That okay. Antonio Guterres. So which country they are being? So trusteeship council is a functionless organ. No country is under it. When Palau was given independent way back 1985, after that no country is under say trusteeship council because If any country not able to rule itself, that was taken over by treasury reforms. Then develop it economically and politically and grant independence to India. Once upon a time concept of mandatory territories. So no country right now under it. So it's a functionless organ. Okay. So it's under coma right now. So we have to wait and see whenever, because we don't want to undo it, because we don't know when the need arises. So we can quickly recollect those things. Then of course India, US, there's a COPE India. It is nothing but an air exercise of India and US. So from April 10th onwards, it is going to take place in West Bengal, where Kalai Kunda Air Base in West Bengal. And first time now we are using our Rafale as well in this issue. Okay. Then regarding America, the Richard Verma again in the news. He became the Deputy Secretary of State. As Indian became, so it's a crucial news also for us. What do you mean by Secretary of State? Is nothing but the Foreign Minister of America. Okay, External Affairs Minister. In India, we call no External Affairs Minister, Foreign Minister. There they call it as Secretary of State. Once upon a time, even what is once upon a time in Britain also is the same thing, and we very when the modern India, right? The British part is concerned, right? Secretary of State, Montague, Chelmsford reforms, all the things, right? You heard this. So who is Secretary of State? He's the Foreign Minister of Britain there. Okay, who is taking care of Indian affairs. So same thing here, Secretary of State is nothing but an External Affairs Minister. So the deputy now Indian. And fact also that Richard Sharma once upon a time is an ambassador of America in India. So that's the reason why I said once again in the news. So between 2015 and 17, he served as US ambassador to India. So currently the legal officer now became the things. So here the word US Senate confirms. What is this? Can't the President of America automatically appoint, like India? No, when the President appoints everything, Parliament has no role at all. What is Senate? Upper house of uh, like Rajya Sabha. What is the Parliament name of America? Is it Parliament? Congress. In India, Congress means a political party. But whereas the Congress in America means it's the name of the Parliament. Like our Rajya Sabha, their Senate. So Senate is the most powerful upper house in the world. That question appeared in our groups. And United Andhra Pradesh is that. Okay? Most powerful upper house in the world. All appointments of American president has to be ratified, has to be accepted later by the Senate. Then only they will come into force. There is a presidential system wherein there is no relationship between legislature and executive. Legislature function independently, executive function independently. Whereas ours is a parliamentary system, wherein there is a close rapport take place, harmony between legislature and executive. But still in America, there is what we call a checks and balances. Legislature should not cross the Lakshman Rekha, so the executive. So each will check the other. So in the process, they adopted this issue. Okay, the Senate, the upper house has to ratify, has to accept, give its consent to all the appointments made by the president, even all the international agreements signed, treaties Okay, by it. Yeah, Dilip Kaur mentioned Congress, right? Then Indian origin again, Amit Kshatriya is going to head NASA's new mission to Mars, Moon to Mars mission. And again, Indian origin person as heading, no doubt the persons related, very important bit for you. Okay, so NASA stands for, the right, National Aeronautics and Space Administration. America's space, like India's ISRO, it is America's. Then, of course, regarding America, last week we discussed finally the Trump surrendered. Instead of somebody come and arrested, he himself surrendered. But anyhow, he said all political vendetta. So let us wait how American system, legal system responds to it. Yeah, there is a name also. Hmm? Artemis. Optimism. Right. Then coming to India, Bhutan, the recently the king of Bhutan visited India, Jigme Kesar Wangchuk. So as India, Bhutan have a special relationship, and Modi given a new narrative, Bharat to Bhutan, Bhutan to Bharat. Instead of using the word India, whenever he visited the Bhutan, he said Bharat. That rhythm sounds well, where the thing is concerned. And from the beginning, whoever the new prime ministers came, his first visit is to Bhutan. Rarely they will visit other countries. So we have special relationship factors. Even when India facing this threats of extremism in the northeastern states, at one point the king of Bhutan himself personally came into rescue along with our army. Okay, the Bhutanese. He entered the war also. Okay, so like this we have the special relationship, and the Doklam issue is very open. Doklam actually the part of Bhutan, and when China wished to occupy, India stand with Bhutan, and we are able to successfully resist Chinese intrusion into Doklam. Of course, we have our own concern, perhaps that is very near to our chicken neck. This now that one point you have to keep in mind is there is no uh, diplomatic relation between Bhutan and China. No exchange of ambassadors so far between Bhutan and China. If at all Chinese want to talk to Bhutan, the through within India or the personally it is. They don't have direct access. But anyhow, now the China wanted to resolve its border problem with Bhutan also, negotiation, and it's not Bhutan insisting that it is not dual. It let it be trilateral, not bilateral. Let India also be involved in the negotiations, border negotiation issue. So we have to wait and see what is going to happen. And India is rendering its helping hand to number of idle projects, and one among them, right, the Chukka. Now recently they are ready to upgrade that project as well. Then number of checkposts, okay, they wanted to keep it up. One of the reason is the checkpost issue is that we have the concept called MVA, What is this? Motor vehicles agreement. A seamless connectivity, we wanted to do that. Can you name it what it is? BBIN. So Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal. But it so happened that this Bhutan has not ratified that motor vehicles agreement. It is not ratified because of some environmental issues that is pending. Okay, issues are there. So we required now the check post along with the borders, and that was taken up the issue. And similarly, they also expedite the proposed Kokrajhar Gillipur rail link project also. Okay. Then one more something odd news, because everything is in English, English, English as official. But now Italy government, they wanted to ban English in its official communication. Okay. So in India, few states are going against Hindi. So there, okay, they are going against English as an official communications. So right now it is in the proposal form. So let us wait and see. Even if any communication, they are ready to fine up to 1 lakh euros for using anything else. Okay. As directly then bet, so they wish to ban all foreign languages. Okay. Then back to national news. Again, the ISRO come up with reusable launch vehicle. So this is something like an aeroplane. They will keep the satellite inside and zoom into the air, put the satellite in orbit and come back. The vision of Abdul Kalam, hyperplane, he called that. So now that become reality. So we joined along with the NASA, along with what is this? Another using this reusable one, our Twitter head, SpaceX. They are using it already. Now India to join along with this. So few objective bits you have to keep in mind. No doubt ISRO, the thing is concerned. So uh, is an experiment of the reusable launch vehicle technology demonstration. So TD for this technology demonstration, because it is in the trial form, and where it was happened at aeronautical test range, not NTR, national test range. All missiles will be launched from that. Now Wheeler Island, it is not that. It is a different. It's from aeronautical test range where it is Chalakere. Okay, this you have to get this at Chitradurga. So from that it was launched. So along with this Indian Air Force and DRDO, this project was undertaken. Yes, sure. Yeah, yeah. Let us see. Okay. Then, of course, one more missile related Amoga 3, though it is concerned, it was successfully conducted. So, previously, this Amoga 1 2 is done. Now we have the 3. So, it is what you call F and F, fire and forget capability 1. So, with accuracy, the precision. So, once you keep the target, even the target is moving, this will adjust itself and try to destroy that one. So this is an indigenous missile. and generally DRDO involved, but this specific missile is Bharat Dynamics BDL. Okay, has done this. So that difference you have to keep in mind, because otherwise regularly we say DRDO, but this one by the BDL. Then of course recently the combined commanders conference has happened. Indian Army, Navy, Air Chiefs, they met it and discuss the various strategies that is essential. So quickly, who is the present Chief of Indian Army, Indian Navy, Indian Air Force? So he has to be aware of those things. Then overall Chief of Defense Forces, Anil Chauhan. Then Supreme Commander of Draupadi Murmu, of course, the President. Okay, is an ex officio chief. Okay, ex officio is by virtue of whoever be. Okay, is an honorary post, the Supreme Commander of Armed Forces. So that is different from Chief of Defense Staff, CDF. That is the thing, CDS. Now, okay, try to remember this is all the way also, and more of descriptivities rather than objective. Objective point is that's much is sufficient for it. Then the Union government recently given approval for installation of 10 nuclear reactors. So already we have how many now? Last time we discussed everything. So 2 weeks back, video look back all the things like all the 12. You have to make is operational and everything. So now that another 10, the approval is there. So we have to wait and see where and everything they will put it out. Okay. Huh? 12. Okay. So these 10 indigenous pressurized heavy water reactors of 700 megawatts. Pressurized heavy water reactors. So they will be set up in Karnataka, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan. 4 states. So one by one they want to do. So by 2031, they want to achieve this target. Overall, 1,05,000 crores is going to cost. So check our previous video to have the complete details. Then come to this Karnataka. Last week we discussed how it has done away with the Muslim reservations. After doing away with Muslim reservation, they notifies 10% EWS quota in this. So first thing is they undo the Muslim and they added 10% quota for these economically weaker sections. Okay. So total reservation in Karnataka gone up to 56% now. So right now, because our reservation is a caste based and the open category, there this EWS economic criteria, not the caste criteria. So all the Brahmins, Arya Vaishyas, Jains, Nagata, Mudaliyars, all are there, nearly who are the 4% of the population of Karnataka. They are eligible in this one. So generally overall India level, schedule cost 15%, but Karnataka is 17%. Scheduled rate 7.5. There is less 7%. It is state related. Okay, so some variations they kept it up. Then Rajiv Gandhi issue, Rahul Gandhi issue, sorry. So last week we said under defamation, he got bail issue. So now we have to wait and see. Now he got the bail as well as it is suspended, whether his membership will be restored or not. Okay, till the government has to take the decision. That is, of course, Lok Sabha has to officially take the decision. Then BVR Subramaniam, now the retired IAS officer, he is going to be the new CEO of Niti Ayog. What is full form of Niti Ayog? Niti? National. I stands for institution. T, transforming India. So it replaced the planning commission. So now the CEO is going to be hitherto the CEO Parameshwaran Iyer. Now is appointed executive director in the World Bank. So is replacing Parameshwaran Iyer. So in this place is going to be the new one. Okay. Who is the chairman of Niti Ayog? Prime Minister only, right? So Prime Minister is ex officio chairperson. Then, of course, regarding sports, the Argentina become world's #1 football team. So it's happening from long time, most of the thing, and it continues its ranking. And France is the second. Brazil latter. Sometimes Brazil become #1. So most often either of the two, okay, will be the thing discussed. So this time it will be. So every year they will announce. So next in July 2023 they will announce. Then of course the women empire entered the first female empire of cricket, ICC men's, okay, empire of ICC men's. The women now that empire for the ICC men's. So Kim Cotton as the first time always the important. So from exam point of view, keep in mind. Already, of course, is an empire for the women's team. Now also for the men's team. Then, of course, International Day of Sports recently happened on 6th April. So, advisable to know the theme scoring for people and the planet. Not only for the people, right? Scoring, you have to do it. So, scoring for people and the planet. So always this date when it comes on first Olympics games, okay, modern Olympics, right? Happened in 1896. So keeping that in mind, the date we are celebrating. International Day. National Day is different. National Day of Sports. On whose memory it is? Nanchan, right? And then last one we talked about is concerned. Maybe all this NCRT. So finally done away with the entire medieval India. And if you observe very carefully, for last 5-6 years, there is no question on medieval India. Have you noticed in civil services? Either modern India or few questions of ancient India. That too culture part only. You will not have much also on ancient India. And medieval, completely we have forgotten. Okay? And now he wanted to undo that chapter also. So we don't know whether the reality are allegations. When you're talking about history, right? Different proofs will be there. Of course, few good things also may happen, and everything is concerned. He said, when history, what is the truth? Is a bigger question mark, isn't it? Mm. So I find it difficult to recollect on historian. Uh, for one reason, and then he was sentenced to jail as an historian. And one day it so happened that he's living with other co-prisoners. They started fighting each other, and the jailer came. Then who started fighting? Got it? And different versions are saying by different people there itself, and everything happened before his eyes. Then, after everything is over, he recollected when now in the present, before my eyes, something happened. Different version. Whoever saw it is not alone. Number of people who saw it, different people give different versions. Then how can I guess or speculate that that's an attack, this, and that? And he stopped undoing the history completely. What's the name? The very famous historian. He has written a number of books on previously too. So the reason why history is the study of graveyards, isn't it? So anyhow, this Mughal part is concerned. So at the bent of more, why should we learn more about the Muslim? So the Hindutva based party being the BJP, though it called itself as secular, the base is that it wanted to undo. And one of the criticism of the BJP, not only now, from the beginning of establishment, BJP recently celebrated 43 years of its origin. From the beginning, even its wing of RSS, they are alleging that our education system and especially history is more bent of the Muslims. The reason they are saying this, the first education minister, who was the first education minister of India? Maunala Bulkalam Azad. So they're saying that sort of thing. We don't know the fact or the reality. Allegation only, that is. Till 1921, no, even we don't know about our history, right? This Indus and everything is there. We don't know. Even we have the replicas, no? Recently, OIC is asking wonderfully. So tell me who built Qutub Minar? Who built it, right? Is it Modi? Okay, he put it very symbolically. Now on August 15th, you are hosting the flag on Red Fort. Who made that? Innumerable, okay, present heritage structures. You'll have, we have those things. So this sort of bias, we can only say unfortunate. Okay. But anyhow, already UP did, so NCRT also. UP said no chapter on Mughals code for CBSC. UP government has done in the beginning. Then later now NCRT come up with and done away with this. So finally is a government of India's version. So future also now NCRT books are the fundamental for you for films and everything. So no need for you to read the medieval history. Anyhow, most of the teachers now they are not teaching at all history part, and the students are not at all reading. So that's the reality. Okay. Yeah. Documented properly. At least writing has already invented everything, and because of that, even before that, it's there. Yeah, that is true. But anyhow, history is history, right? We have to learn lessons from it, not to undo it. That's the purpose of history. When you say past is a past, you cannot undo the past. You have to learn the lesson from the past and stay what you call you have to lay the foundation for the present so that the future will be there. Without present, no future, isn't it? And what had happened today is tomorrow's history. Simple thing. So you can't, just because you eliminated from the textbook doesn't mean that you eliminate everything, right? Record is the record. Okay. But anyhow, that will be the version, and let it be so. So, any doubts, clarifications on today's issue? Right. So, thank you very much. So, meet you next week. Bye. Herodotus, the historian who